Today I'm going to talk about mineral nutrients. This is lecture 4 in the plant physiology subject, which is offered at NMNT as part of the agricultural and the viticultural degrees. My name is Nikki Cooley. Please refer to Tags and Zygo Plant Physiology Chapter 5 2010 for additional readings and information to this topic. The aim of this lecture is for you to comprehend the importance of nutrients for plant health, the mechanism and the role of nutrient uptake, and the impact of nutrient deficiency. The impact of nutrient deficiency in agriculture and climate change will also be discussed. This lecture is separated into 3 parts. In part 1 we will define and overview mineral nutrients. We will then deal with the 2 main nutrient classification systems. Part 2 will look at nutrients and the soil, and also explore nutrient uptake by the plant. And part 3 will look at nutrient deficiencies and how these deficiencies impact on agriculture. Plant nutrition is defined as the study of chemical elements that are essential for plant growth. For an element to be described as essential, 3 criteria must be met. Firstly, a deficiency of the element makes it impossible for the plant to complete its life cycle. Secondly, the deficiency is specific for the element in question. And thirdly, the element is directly involved in the nutrition of the plant, as for example, a constituent of an essential metabolite required for the action of an enzyme system. All the essential elements that plants require are inorganic. This differentiates them from humans, mammals, and many microorganisms. There are 22 essential elements, for which 17 are essential plant nutrients. Mineral nutrients are elements such as nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. After absorption by the roots, minerals are translocated into various parts of the plant, and we dealt with this in solute transport lecture. Other organisms, including mycorrhizal fungi and nitrogen-fixing bacteria, often participate in mineral acquisition. Plants are the traditional means of recycling animal waste and for removing deleterious minerals from waste dumps. Plant nutrition is a complex nature of plant-soil-atmosphere relationships. An essential element is one that is an intrinsic component in the structural metabolism of a plant, or whose absence causes severe abnormalities in growth, development, or reproduction. 3 of the major essential elements are not mineral nutrients, and these are hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. Hydrogen is obtained by water. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are obtained from the atmosphere. As you can see from Table 1, the concentration of these essential elements that are not nutrients are very high. There are several classification mechanisms for nutrients, and there is some debate about which one is best. I am going to present 2 of these to you today. The most common is according to the nutrient concentration which is acquired by the plant. These are separated into 2 main groups, the macronutrients and the micronutrients. The macronutrients are nutrients that are required in large amounts, while as the micronutrients are nutrients that are required in smaller amounts. A second method was proposed by Evans and Sorger in 1966, and then developed further by Mengel and Kirby in 2001, and this is based on the biochemical and the physiological functions, and these are separated into 4 groups. In the classification based on nutrient concentration, the macronutrients can be divided into 2 groups. There are the primary macronutrients and the secondary macronutrients. The primary macronutrients are perhaps the most familiar to most people. These consist of the nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium groups. They are found in relatively higher concentrations in the soil and higher concentrations in the plant. The secondary macronutrients are not as important as the primary, and these compose of calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. They are again taken up by the plant in their ionic forms, and their concentrations of the soil range from 0.7 to 500 parts per million. Their concentrations in the plant typically range from 0.1 to 0.5. The micronutrients compose of a number of nutrients which are typically defined as being obtained in the plant in very low concentrations. Their concentration ranges from 100 parts per million to about 0.1 to 0.6 parts per million. The macronutrients compose of iron, magnesium, zinc, boron, copper, molybdenum, cobalt and chlorine. Some of these micronutrients can be obtained by the plant in several ionic forms, as in the iron. While they are found in smaller concentrations in the plant, one should not underestimate their significance. The second classification for nutrients are those that are defined by their biochemical function. They are separated into 4 groups. Table 5.2 deals with the first 2 groups. The first groups are nutrients that are part of the carbon compounds. So these include groups such as the amino acids, amines, proteins and nucleic acids. This group contains nitrogen and silica. Group 2 are nutrients that are involved in the very important energy storage or structure integrity. So these are compounds that involve the cell wall, nucleic acids, sugar phosphates, nucleotides and coenzymes. Group 3 of this classification are the nutrients that remain in the ionic form in the plant. They have roles such as maintaining cell turgor and cell electroneutrality. Group 4 are involved in the redox reactions, such as iron being required in proteins involved in photosynthesis. Please study these tables for more details on these roles. This concludes the end of Part 1, Mineral Nutrients lecture.